think we've got the bulk of everybody.
Okay, welcome everyone to the first of this group of Little Snack. Before we get started, letting you know we are recording the session, and that is purely so that at the end of all of these sessions we can select one for people that for some reason really couldn't make it, so that they can also hear what we're talking about. Before we get started, I will ask Rion, would you like to start us with karakia? Otherwise, Sandy can. Sandy, where are you?
Yep, sure. Hello, I'm here. Good afternoon, everybody. E te hui whānui, whaia tō mātauranga kia marama ai, kia whaia ake ngā mahi katoa, tū maia aroha mai, tātou ia tātou katoa, tūturu whakamaua kia tina, hui e, tai kie.
Thank you, Sandy. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us today. My name's Fern Ryan, for any of you that don't know me, and I'm the Chief Executive at ConneXu, and I'm joined by a few other people who will introduce themselves as they come on to present to you today. We've got quite a bit of information to get through. So firstly, I just want to say thank you for joining us. It's really, we find these little snacks a really great way to get information out to you, since we're all working all over the place in different homes and different parts of the Waikato King Country, Bay of Plenty and Lakes. So on the agenda today is the business plan. We just want to close off the work that and share with you the work that we've been doing on the last financial year's business plan and the last strategic plan, and then just share with you the new strategic plan and the work that we'll be starting in the next 12 months. We have Samantha and Guy joining us to talk to you about One Chart, which will be our new medication process that will support us. Sharon will talk you through the GPS rollout that is coming up very soon. We will also be sharing with you the key community facilitator role, and also then just circling back to the work we've already been updating you on around the opinion survey and the pulse survey, and some of the work that we're doing around that. We will have a breakout discussion on the resource library that has been created. And then I also just wanted to update you on a few new roles that we are currently recruiting to try and provide some additional support to our frontline people. So with that all being said, let's move on. Just to remember, as we go along, if you have a question, you can click on the chat up on the top of your toolbar and ask that question. We may not get to answer them all during the session, but if there are groups of questions and themes of questions, we will answer them after all the little snacks. You can also raise your hand, and we will, as long as we have enough time, we will ask you what your question is, and or your comment it may be. And if you like what you hear, and you're quite welcome to use the react button and give a thumbs up or a clap or whatever. So we'll move on. Okay, so many of you who have worked for us for a little while will recognise this picture here, which was our 2024 to 25. It actually ended up being to 26 business plan, and it was based on the strategic goals that we had at the time. It got extended by a year because of the residential freeze that we had, and we needed a little bit more time to achieve some of the goals that we'd set for ourselves. So Sandy and I are just going to go through quickly some of the achievements that we had over that period. Obviously, like everything, when you create something or achieve a goal, that's not it. You have to keep building on it. It becomes business as usual, and you still need to improve on that. Sandy, I'll hand over to you.
Well, thanks, Fern. So we want to talk to you about what we've achieved together as a team, and none of this is possible without the support of everybody in the team. So please take these as your own achievements, as well as, it's not just those of the executive team. So we've strengthened the way we support people. We've introduced new purpose and values. We've continued to improve new person-centered support and partner voice through things like our Disabled Partner Advisory Group that we're currently recruiting for. That being really important because obviously we want our disabled partners to have a clear voice and direction, support us with the direction of our organisation strategically, operationally, etc. And we've expanded our services so more people can choose us for their support. We've invested in our people. We've got more learning and development opportunities. We've got clear career pathways and role development, and investing in our leadership and team support. We have continued to grow, so we've secured our community participation contract, we've re-established the ACC Living My Life, and we've gained the ACC residential and very high needs contracts. We're supporting more people we partner with across different communities and contract types, and creating new opportunities for our team to grow and make a difference with new roles and that kind of thing. We've invested in better tools, so we've got new technology to try and reduce our paperwork. We've improved our systems, resources, and digital solutions, and we're building the foundations for Dynamics and One Chart, as well as future innovations that we'll talk to you about shortly. And finally, strengthened our quality and safety. We've gained our Ngā Pariwa Health and Disability Standards certification in both our residential and community homes. We've done audits. We've got the best program for our internal checks, and we've achieved a WorkWell Gold recognition, which recognises our commitment to a healthy and safe workplace. That's a lot of stuff, so well done, everybody.
Thanks, Sandy. So as I just said before, at the end of June 30 this year, the last strategic plan, which was a 3-year strategic plan, came to an end. And we've been working on the new strategic plan. For people who don't really know, the reason that you create a strategic plan is to help you to determine what direction you want to head in, helps you to create a business plan, which is the next 12 years goals, and also helps you to determine what you're going to put some resource and some both financial and human time into. So we worked with the board, so the executive team worked with the board and a facilitator in November, December, January on our new strategic plan. And so the strategic goals, the strategic focus for the next 5 years are digital enablement, sustainable growth and partnerships, service organisation and quality, homes and community connections. So you can see that those 4 strategic pillars are really, really critical to ensuring that we can partner with people in a way which is quality, and also support our team members to ensure that they're connected and working well. So we're going to go through each of those to give you a little bit more insight into what the work is that we will be doing. Much of that work will involve your input. Some of it is aimed at creating efficiencies and effectiveness and enabling people to focus on supporting people. Sandy.
So our first goal is around digital enablement. So the goal is to embed and mature an integrated fit-for-purpose digital ecosystem that enhances service delivery and human connection. So what are we aiming to do this year? We're aiming to roll out Dynamics, as we'll talk about later, One Chart that Guy will speak to, and the new GPS technology for our vehicles. We're developing a new resource library, which we'll talk to shortly, for one source of truth for forms and guidelines. That's something we've heard really clearly from the team, that was something they want. We're aiming to have less paperwork and smarter digital systems so you can spend more time with disabled partners doing the important work that you do. And we're looking at trying to find a rostering and HRIS system that's going to meet our needs now and into the future. So that will hopefully be something that will be easy and simple to use for our team as well.
Sustainable growth and partnerships. So we're spending some time just to look at it's just exactly that, sustainable growth and partnerships, looking at how we can expand our services and reach within the communities that we're working in. Where does it make sense to continue to offer more of the supports that we have contracts for? Build partnerships and create more opportunities for the people that we partner with. So whether that be with supported employment agencies, accessible building organisations, or whether it be with other organisations in the community that will offer greater opportunities for disabled partners. We're looking for partnerships that will support people. And grow sustainably so we can invest in our people and services. So we're taking the time to ensure that any of the contracts that we continue to invest time and resource into are sustainable, that they aren't going to be contracts that, while they might be nice to do, financially are a burden to the organisation. So sustainable growth and partnerships is grow in a balanced way, strengthening partnerships and opportunities across the communities we serve. So obviously as a relational organisation, everything starts with those conversations and those relationships. Really important to the work we do.
Our third pillar is service organisation and quality. So the goal is lead quality beyond compliance through strong practice that delivers measurable outcomes. So we have a lot of things we have to do for compliance, and we think we can do much better than that, or we know we can. So we are going to be continuing the Measuring Our Best quality reviews. For those of you who haven't had the pleasure of meeting Alicia yet, through that process, she'll be coming in for all the residential homes, and then we'll be looking at the community services as well. Strengthening our medication safety and clinical support. We're growing the clinical team, implementing new systems, as we'll talk about. We're going to continue to keep the people we partner with at the centre of everything we do, and strengthening the work as one and do our best within our contracts. So understanding the contracts in detail and what they say and what that means to us, how that aligns with our values, how that works in practice.
Homes and community connections. Facilitate adaptable homes within connected communities that support wellbeing and choice. Our infrastructure will support our strategic direction. So we are looking at supporting people to have great lives wherever they call home. So strengthening person-centred support and community participation, expanding services that some more people can access ConneXu, and building connections with partnerships, whānaus and local communities. It is within this goal that we are looking at what does a good life look like for somebody. So whether that is their home. So one of the things we know that housing can be a barrier to people living a good life. So we're looking at what our part is to play there, whether it be that we need to build homes that meet people's needs so they can live a good life, whether we need to partner with affordable properties that might help us with building homes that we can then lease, or whether we might even partner with disabled people that might build their own houses. And then we need to look at what do those homes look like? What does community look like for people? How can someone stay and age within their home, not having to move all the time? Also, we're looking at what is the technology and the infrastructure within those homes and within our offices and the spaces that we work that enables us to connect with each other. And so what you'll see here is in the previous slides, you saw parts of pictures as we talked about each goal. So you saw the technology piece of the partner when part of this picture when we were talking about technology. You saw another piece when we were talking about quality. But this picture demonstrates all of the goals that we're working on in our 5-year strategic plan together, because they're all interrelated. We can't support people to live good lives in their home without quality supports. We also need technology and interconnectedness to ensure that we know what's happening in our communities, we know what's happening in our organisation, that we can use technology to support people to be as independent as they can be so that they can live their best life. So once again, like we have in the past, our friends at Interactions graphed that picture for us, and it's very representative of what we're looking to achieve over the next 5 years. Does anyone have any questions about our strategic plan or our business plan goals? I know that this was a very quick over lightly. We will, in the resource library, will it be, Chris? Put the business plan up and put the strategic plan up so that people can go later on and have a bit of a look. But just for now, are there any questions or comments? No? Right. Okay, next, let's look at some of the projects you'll be seeing coming over the next few months. Each of these projects that we're going to talk about does support our business plan, and it is aimed at making our work easier and improve the outcomes for the people that we partner with, which is why we're all here. So we will hand over to Samantha.
Or Guy.
Or Guy.
We can't hear you, Guy.
Unmute yourself, Guy.
Guy, if you want to come into Fern's office to do this, you're more than welcome. He's on his way. I'll hand over my seat.
That's better. I've just transferred office. As I noted, Sam's been leading this. So essentially, what is OneChart? It's a whole new electronic medication management system, and it should be replacing all of our paper-based medication charting. It's designed to make the whole process easier, safer, and simpler, and more importantly, it's consistent. You will be able to access it securely from smartphones, tablets, and computers. So what it does is that it allows a connectivity between the doctors or prescribing nurses who are prescribing medication, pharmacies, and ConneXu in real time. So automatic updates are automatically there for each of our disabled partners. So what does this mean for you? Essentially, it's going to improve the medication safety for all of our disabled partners. It should make it easier for you. It'll check for things that need to be done and ask you to signify whether or not you've done them, and you can, before you move to the next step. It will significantly reduce the chance of errors. So it hopefully makes it easy. You won't have all of that documentation to be filling in and writing on when you're supporting the disabled partners, and you'll have the information that you need to provide the support that you are asked to give to our disabled partners, with all the clear medication information, photos, automatic updates, and makes you more confident in the work that you are doing. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of training to do with this. We're planning to roll this out in October, and it won't be all houses at the same time. We'll be rolling it out across the organisation, and Sam and the team are developing training to make sure that you know what you are doing and to build your confidence in the process. That's it. So back to you, Fern.
Thank you, Guy. Did anybody have any questions about OneChart before we move on? Okay, as Guy said, before anybody's expected to use OneChart, there will be training that you will undergo. and obviously the clinical team will be there to support everyone. I'm now going to hand over to...
if possible, just about the one chart, because it says it's accessible by smartphones. I'm just wondering, does it mean that we can access it from our own phones, or we can only use it on the work phone?
Who's speaking?
Oh, sorry, this is Donna.
Oh, hi, Donna. Where is Guy? He needs to answer that question. But
Sorry, go on.
Guys, just run away back to the other room.
My understanding would be is that we have introduced phones for homes into the homes, and that the technology, that one chart would be accessible from those phones. Guy, do you have a...
He's agreeing. He's saying phones for homes.
Yes, phones for homes.
Okay.
Phones for homes and the computers. Are we also looking at potentially getting tablets in some homes as well, just depending on what's needed? Is that right, Guy?
I understand that's the case, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll be working through it with each house to see, but our preference is that people are not using their own private phones for this, that you're using the technology that ConneXu has. And obviously we will need to look at each house individually to see what meets that house's needs the most. Does that answer your question, Donna?
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
It's just because I use Apple phones and stuff, and Androids are always like, I would get a bit confused, but that's okay. It's something to work on.
Okay, thanks. Okay, I will hand you over to Sharon, who's going to introduce you to eRoads, which is the GPS system that we're using. This is just a bit of a high-level conversation about what it is, why we're using it, and what's going to happen over the next few months. Sharon.
Hi, welcome everyone. So yeah, as Finn was saying today, as a quick introduction around eRoad, which I'm sure you've heard the communication the last few months, not a full training. It is about why we're introducing it and what it means for you, and hopefully answering any questions that naturally come up when any of these new things are introduced. The main message is simple. It's about us looking after our vehicles so that they're safe, reliable, and ready when we need them. So why are we introducing eRoad? Our vehicles are one of the most important resources we have, and they help us support people every day. They're a practical tool that we rely on at work. eRoad helps us look after those vehicles better. It gives us better information about servicing, vehicle use and safety, so we're not relying on guesswork. This is not about changing the work you do as our community facilitators. It's about helping us make sure the vehicles we rely on are safe, reliable and available when they need them. That one. So what changes? Not much, which is great news. You'll log in using the simple option of using the last 4 digits in your driver's license, because it is simple, easy to remember and unique to you. Logging in lets eRoad know who is driving the vehicle at any time, helps us identify who was using the vehicle if there's an incident, a maintenance issue, or if we need to follow up on something. Once you've logged in, you simply drive as you normally would. When you're finished using the vehicle, log out. That's the main change. So questions you might be asking. First one, are we being tracked? eRoad records information about the vehicle and the journey while the vehicle is being used. The purpose is to help us manage and maintain our fleet, keep vehicles safe and reliable, and meet our responsibilities as an organisation. Is someone watching every kilometre? No. The simple answer is no one is sitting there watching every trip, every kilometre you drive. We all have plenty of other work to do. However, eRoad does record trip information, and we're using that information where appropriate. For example, it may help us investigate incidents, support vehicle maintenance, or identify unsafe driving behaviours such as excessive speed or harsh driving. Does eRoad monitor driving behaviour? Yes. It can identify events such as speeding, harsh braking, or rapid acceleration. This helps us promote safe driving, reduce wear and tear on our vehicles, and meet our health and safety responsibilities. The focus is on safety and looking after our vehicles, not catching people out. Stacey? What if I forget to log in? Do not panic. Like any new system, there will be a learning period and we'll provide support and reminders while everyone gets used to it. Where can I get help? Again, easy. Speak with your team leader, service leader, one of the project team, or someone from the property and fleet team. Would much rather you ask than worry about getting something wrong. So what eRoad helps us to do, gives us better information to look at for the fleet. This is the kind of information that helps us keep on top of servicing, spot maintenance issues sooner, understand what vehicles are available, and make better decisions about the fleet over time. The rollout will start with installations from the 31st of July, when training and support will be provided as vehicles are fitted. Nobody is expected to know everything on day one. We will support people through the change and keep improving as we go. Yeah, so thank you. Look, we're trying to make sure the vehicles are safe and we have good records, but does anyone have any questions?
Phil's got a question first. Sharon?
Phil, go. Oh, I can't hear you. Can you turn off your mic, please?
Turn on your mic.
How's that?
That's a lot
Much
better.
better.
Thanks, Phil. Thank you.
Okay, I've got a question. I work at a house where the family have provided the vehicle. Will that be?
That will be part of the second rollout on those vehicles, is my understanding.
Okay.
The aim is to have it over the whole fleet, so we have a consistent approach.
Okay, all right.
Fern has a question.
Fern.
Oh, I don't have a question. I've just got a couple of points. One was to let everyone know that all vehicles will have the GPS installed in them, but there is a rollout period. So those vehicles that are owned by disabled partners and their whānau, we are in communications, but we will be in communications with those whānau and talking to them about GPS and it being installed in their homes, in their vehicles, and the reasons why. Those of us that have vehicles as part of our packages, we will also be having the GPS installed in our vehicles. This isn't just for one group of the team, it's for everybody. I think the second point I wanted to make, as Sharon's been saying, this is firstly and foremostly around safety and maintenance and sustaining our vehicles. As many of you will know, driving is one of our significant unwanted risks, and this is a proactive measure that we see will help us with this significant unwanted risk. And it doesn't mean anything different to the way that you should be driving. We already have a safe driving policy, which outlines the way in which people should be driving. So there's no change there. And the other thing that we believe this assists with is lone workers is also a significant unwanted risk. So if you have a staff member on their own supporting disabled people in a vehicle, we think that the GPS will support that as well. So I just wanted to make those 2 points.
Christine has a question. Sharon?
Go, Christine. Oh, mic off, Christine.
Mic Your mic's not on, Christine. Okay. Christine, if
Sorry,
you... Oh,
yeah, I
yes,
was
yes.
having trouble unmuting myself. So with this e-road, does that mean that we no longer will need to do the paper mileage sheets and the sign-in code that we do every Sunday?
Great questions, Christine. Do you
good
want to
question.
answer those, Sharon?
Yeah, look, that is the aim. The aim, less paperwork, easier processes for, all you guys. So yeah, that is the aim.
Yeah, so the aim, Christine, is that there will no longer be mileage sheets and that the vehicle checking will be done through e-roads. That's correct, isn't it, Sharon? Yes.
Yeah, it has a great tool where you can do all the checking as well, like your vehicle inspection on the app as well.
I thought somebody else...
Yeah, David, I noticed you put your hand up. Did you have a question?
Hi everyone, mine was really all around that paperwork as well, so that's kind of been answered. One other question I do have though is we do actually tally and record on there every time we add fuel into the vehicle at the moment for the monthly fuel use, and I think, well, one that obviously establishes how much fuel we putting in the vehicles, but it's a quick reference check as well when you're needing to, as we know at the moment, very carefully budget that fuel use. So will it have anything like that where we enter fuel top-ups and we can track the use of fuel as well, just that we do that at the moment manually?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does track those things, but I'd have to double check, David, as to the actual manual input if you had to put in when you're actually putting in fuel. I don't know if that's the case. I know it does track your mileage, but I'd have to confirm that, David, like the specifics of how that works in the app itself.
So good question, David. We
Yeah.
will go away and find that out for you.
I've made a note.
Awesome, thanks. Thank you.
Are there any other questions about the about e-roads before we move on? Great. So just remember that if you do think of a question after this little snack, you can send an email to, is the best person you, Sharon?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, or Property and Fleet team, and they can find me if, whatever's easiest.
So
There is one. Sorry, guys, there is one more question in the chat. It says, what about CFs that don't want to be tracked with e-road?
Unfortunately, that's every vehicle will have GPS, and to drive the vehicles, you will need to enter the GPS. That is policy in the organisation. Okay,
Awesome.
shall we move on to dynamics? Sandy.
Hello, me again. So we've talked a lot about dynamics. You've probably seen it a bit in the last while, and I want to be clear about what it is. So Dynamics is our new partner management system, and that'll be replacing most of what you see on ConneXu at the moment. So we're talking about the disabled partner profiles, care and support plans, where you write your shift notes, where you do your incident reporting, stay safe, things like vehicle checks, quality home checks, all of those things that you're frequently doing on ConneXu, you'll move to doing in Dynamics. So we've heard from you that the administration in your role was taking you away from supporting partners. So we have designed Dynamics with your feedback in mind, reducing duplication and ensuring it is nice and easy to use. And I'm going to give you a sneak peek in a second as to what some of the features will look like. So we are currently in development phase for the CF app. So our leaders get the admin app, and the office team get the admin app. But for our CFs, we really wanted something that was going to be simple to use on a phone, as we provide the phones now, or on the computer or a tablet. And we're due to be finished this kind of midway through 2027 with rollout planned after that. So here you go for a little sneak peek. Now, these are just what they call wireframes. Chris, if I can get you to do that. So We've got here a view of 2 test people. So you can see here a view of the care and support plan on a desktop. Now this is what a care and support plan might look like. So you have a category, you have my support needs, how to support me, you can scroll through this. We have pictures, you can add videos, you can add whatever you like into here to make it nice and easy to see, so your leaders and you will be able to create really great care and support plans for the people that you partner with. And then on the right there, we have a view of a whole of life plan and goals. So some of you will have seen whole of life plans before. We often partner with Interactions or the Outcomes team to get these done. They're often quite visual. So you'll be able to see a big picture of that whole of life plan. We'll be able to add notes to it, what you're working on, and then we'll be able to see a visual chart of the disabled partner's goals. And you'll be able to click into each of those goals, add notes, add pictures, add everything so that we can keep a track of what people are achieving. So these are wireframes, concepts at this stage that we're working through developing, but we like how nice and simple and clean they are, and they're very on brand. As you'll see, they're very pink. Any questions on these so far, team? Great. Thank you.
Is Kate online?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so
I will talk to this. So I just, what's the best way to? So one of the things that we're looking to strengthen the person-centred supports across the organisation is through key community facilitators. Some of you will have been and still are key community facilitators for disabled people that you partner with right now. It is a concept that we have had in the organisation over the years, but we've been very aware that over the last few years that it has slipped. It is a contractual requirement that we have key community facilitators with disabled partners, and so we're looking to pick that back up. A key community facilitator is the main point of contact for a person we partner with. Wherever possible, they will be chosen by the person and or the leader, and they will work alongside that person to understand their goals, preferences, and aspirations. So the key responsibilities around a key community facilitator is building that trusted relationship with the person, their whānau, and their advocates. They would often be the people that are involved in coordinating support plans and keeping goals and outcomes on track. So if the person was having a path plan, for example, that key community facilitator might be the person that would be invited to go to that path plan. They would often be the person that will coordinate communication with families, advocates, and other professionals. So it might be that if the person has got a medical appointment coming up, it might be the key community facilitator that would communicate that with the family members if that was the appropriate thing to do. They would be the people that would promote consistent support by helping keeping documentation and information current. They might be the person that at a team meeting would communicate with the rest of the team about what somebody's preferences are or some concerns that that person might have. So every community facilitator has an important role within the home and with all of the disabled partners. The key community support worker coordinates the person's support journey, but every community facilitator in the home shares responsibility for providing safe, person-centred support, building positive relationships and helping people to achieve their goals. So what we mean by that is just because a person has a key community facilitator, it doesn't mean that that key community facilitator is responsible for all of that person's needs. So the key community facilitator might say, hey team, it's Sandy's birthday next Friday. Can somebody make sure there's a birthday cake? It doesn't mean that the key community facilitator is the only person that makes sure that that birthday cake is purchased, or the gift or the Mother's Day card is purchased. We're still working as one and have shared responsibilities, but it's just that person that has that slightly closer connection with the person and is making sure that we communicate closely with that person and their family whānau and other important people in their lives.
Okay. This is actually going to be me again, team. Hello, Sandy again. So we're going to quickly talk you through the opinion survey results, including our pulse. So last time we met, we talked to you about our opinion survey that we did at the end of last year. And since then, we implemented a pulse survey. And one of the themes that came through really consistently was consistency. And we wanted to understand a little bit more about what it was that wasn't consistent so that we could address it appropriately. And there were kind of two areas. So within homes and teams, and then within an organisational level. So I'm going to just quickly go through the piece around homes, and then Fern will talk about the organisation. So in the summary, you told us that within homes and teams, there's a lack of consistency in the way that teams work together and divide up tasks. So those of you who work across multiple teams might see that in some homes, teams are working together really well in dividing things up, or in some homes it might be reliant on one person. That there's lack of consistency in the quality of information that we see on ConneXu about disabled partners. And there's a lack of consistency in expectations within homes. So in one home, we might be at a certain standard, and within another home, it might not be at the same standard. So what are we going to do about that? Or how are we addressing that at this stage? Chris, thank you. So the information on ConneXu is currently being reviewed as part of the Dynamics data migration project. As you might be aware, moving information from one system to another is a huge task, and we really want to make sure that when we move our data into ConneXu that it is of a really consistent standard with consistent language, up to date, etc. Because Dynamics will give us more transparency over the quality of information and also make it easier for you to see that information. So we're doing some work there. And the other piece around expectations and standards being more consistent is we're hoping that through our Measuring Our Best program that my colleague Alicia is working on, we will be able to see those inconsistencies a little more, and they are coming through in terms of themes, but also address them through the corrective action process that she's running. So we are seeing improvement in that space, but we do welcome any further feedback when you're speaking to Alicia around how we can do this better.
And just, I guess, touching on that a little bit more, through the Measuring Our Best, as Sandy says, we're seeing, there are some inconsistencies that we're seeing, some themes, and the aim would be to go back and work with those teams or to try and get that consistency right across the organisation. It's not necessarily about one team's doing it wrong, it's that we're doing it differently. And we have to make decisions about, is it okay to be doing things differently? Because sometimes it might be, it meets people's needs and that's great, but sometimes we have to do things in a particular way to meet some of the standards that we're expected to meet. In the Pulse survey, you also told us that within the wider organisation, there is inconsistency with communication, leadership, support and availability, as well as decision making. So some of the things that we're doing to try and improve that inconsistency is we're trying really hard to have regular communication initiatives, such as these little snacks, my CE newsletter, and other ways in which we're trying to update you with information, such as the homepage of ConneXu. There's a banner there that will often be telling you things that are coming up, or things that we've got happening within the organisation at the moment. We are establishing a communications focus within our office teams. So one of the things that we'll be doing is asking that all of our office teams have communication on their agenda, and so that we're really talking about how can we be improving our communication with each other, but also with the people that are coming into the office. So that people feel that they're welcome in the office and that they're getting the right information that they need when they visit the office or ring. And we're also investigating how we can provide more support to the community facilitation teams in a frontline basis. We have got some projects that we're working on, and we're getting very close to making some announcements on some areas in which we believe that we can offer greater support to the frontline team. If you've got any ideas or suggestions, please do share those with us. We are still working on ways in which we can improve our consistency, improve our communication, and make things easier to use and supportive to you. Chris.
Hi everybody, I'm Chris, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm the executive assistant, and part of my role is to ensure that you are communicated with. So I help Fern with the CE newsletter, and I'm quite often the one who posts on the socials, including the Facebook group, just to let you know what's going on. One of the things that I've been asked to talk to you today about is the new resource library, and we're going to have a breakout room session in a second where you will automatically be put into a room, and we want your feedback on what you want to see in the new resource library, which is a tile on ConneXu. It's next to the policy portal. So we're looking for the forms, the resources, the standard operating procedures, all the notes that make your job easier. And what we'd like to do is start with the more important ones, or the ones that are accessed the most, get those up, have a single source of truth, because what we're finding quite often, and an example would be a staff reimbursement or a mileage form, we might get a form that is the latest form, or we might get a form that was dated 2018. So we want to make sure that we give you the correct form with the correct information to fill in that makes everybody's job a lot easier, and we don't have to go backwards and forwards to get your staff reimbursement done. So the great thing about a breakout room is that I push a button and you automatically get sent to a room. You will have, I hope, somebody who will lead the conversation. I'll put an announcement up into the chat about what you're talking about, and if we could just get some ideas, you can either write it in the chat or you can come off mute and discuss it. You've got 5 minutes. We could have a note taker taking down the most important forms that you need to do your job. We'd be great and have that when we come back, and I will take a note of all those, and we'll start getting them up on the resource library. So I'm going to click a... Sorry, Fern.
Just before you do, so for clarity, this has come out of the information that you've given us around consistency. People gave us feedback that they wanted one source of truth, that everybody's doing things the same way, and that we know how to do them. So this resource library is, as Chris said, is where the only forms we will use in the organisation will sit. And if there's processes, there will be standard operating procedures. So a standard operating procedure is something that tells you how to do something. So they will all sit in this resource library. So when you're in your groups, you need to think about those things, as Chris has just said, that are critical to you to do your job. Sorry, Chris, you go away. Take it away.
Take it away. You'll go into your rooms now. And you should be on your way through into your rooms.
Alrighty, is everybody back then?
All the rooms are closed now, Fern, so yes, everyone should be back. So, can I hear from room 1? Have we got a couple of forms that you want?
I don't know that was me. That was me.
Yeah.
So our team had a few ideas, mainly the monthly report forms for partners and houses. We've had a bit of trouble finding those. The monthly vehicle check link and the quality home check link, because those are both
Okay.
Microsoft forms currently.
Okay, thank you. Room 2.
Things. Oh, the way the setup being in alphabetical order. What else did I have? Oh, and the categories made clearer, as in, the alphabetical order thing comes to mind, but
Mm-hmm.
uh,
So you're
what was
saying
it?
easy to understand the name of the form?
Basically, yes. Yeah.
Christine?
My question is, if we're going to have availability of forms online, like I raised in our group, we use mood charts and bell charts and stuff. If we don't have a printer to be able to print a lot of these forms, is it only online forms that would go into this?
So the idea is that form will be there for you to fill in and save. You will not be able to overwrite another form. So it's like a template. You'll have to save it in your own file, if you like. Yeah. So you'd be able to save it straight into your house or partner file.
Oh, okay.
But some of the forms that we use in the house, we use paper forms. So we would still need to go to the office for those forms. We wouldn't just be able to print some.
Yes, at this stage, that's correct. Yes.
That's a good point, Christine.
Yeah. Room 2, did you have any other? Room 3? Sorry.
2 or 3?
2. Have you finished?
Oh.
Purchase order.
We have to head off, sorry.
Purchase order.
Kicked.
We're being kicked out of the room by.
I think I was mainly talking about the purchase or everything just being just clear enough so that when you are looking up something, it's it's in a bit of order.
Okay, next room, room 3.
I can't remember if I was room 3 or 4. I'm with them. I can't remember what room it was. We had Michelle and other people in our room, Anthony, Joanna. Couple of things. They were saying a search function might be quite good. So if you were trying to find a form, other comments were not to overload the library so that then you can't find anything. There's so many forms in there.
That's true.
And logical names. But I did say that if perhaps something got labelled and people thought that the label or the name of the file wasn't clear, that they should let us know rather than as a positive improvement.
Awesome. Next room, room 4.
I'm not sure if we were room 4, but basically what Christine raised was what we discussed as some of the paper forms and printing them or that sort of thing. So nothing more to add from us.
Thank you.
Also, I guess the question is, do they need to be printed or could they be uploaded somewhere? So if it was a purchase order, for example, or a purchase request, does it actually need to be printed or could it just be uploaded or emailed to someone? So those are the questions that need to be asked and answered. Is there any other feedback from anyone?
I think it's the sort of thing you go away and think about and something else pops up.
Yep.
I also feel.
So Chris, who can people email if they go away and think of something new?
Oh, yeah.
You can either put it into the suggestion box on ConneXu, because that comes to me and I check that, or you can email me directly at Chris, CRIS, at ConneXu.
Oh, yeah.
That's me. Back to you, Fern.
Great. Over the coming months, you will see that one of the things that we've spent some time looking at is how can we better support our frontline teams, and how can we better support some of the complexity that we are seeing in some of the people that we partner with. So we have committed to increase some of our resources to support our teams. So we are currently recruiting for an occupational therapist who will work with teams that are working, especially with people who are working with people that have complex physical disabilities. Also developing our manual handling program across the organisation, and supporting us with looking at the environments that people live in and how we can make them safer for the disabled partner and for the team members that work within those homes. We will be recruiting, and as you know, we now have 2 registered nurses, one in the Waikato King Country, Sam, and Lisa, who recently started working in the Bay of Plenty. They are responsible for the clinical governance, competencies, and ensuring that our clinical approaches are appropriate to people's needs and maintaining our clinical risk. However, there is a lot of day-to-day clinical needs that people have that we're supporting within homes, and that we can't rely on district nursing or other community nursing to provide support with. And so in the Bay, we are recruiting an enrolled nurse to assist with our frontline staff with that day-to-day support. So that might be if somebody requires some sort of specific wound care, enemas, support around catheters, etc. We will have somebody who is going to homes and working with our community facilitators to and the disabled person to complete those tasks. We are just employing one in the Bay of Plenty at the moment, and we will trial it and see how it goes, with the aim potentially in the future to also look at that in the Waikato. Additionally, we will be looking at, in coming months, recruiting a new leader in the Bay of Plenty to provide some of the support, additional support to that team. Sandy.
Okay. So the final piece from me is just an update about some audits that we anticipate coming. So in response to the abuse and care inquiry, MSD and Disability Support Service have introduced these new things called enhanced audits that are being completed by KPMG, who you might know as sort of accountancy consultants, but they're doing this work as well, which is really interesting. So the purpose of the audit is to ensure that people are safe in their homes and that we're doing everything that we say we're going to do by our contract. And we think that we're going to be getting this audit sometime between February and May next year. We get about 5 weeks notice of the audit, so we'll let you know once we get it. But auditors will come to every one of the residential homes that we currently have. The goal is that all homes are audit ready at all times, and you just need to keep doing what you're already doing. So keeping records and documentation up to date, ensuring that homes are clean and feel nice and homely and meet our safety standards, and that you're delivering the services that we are meant to be delivering. We're supporting people to reach their goals. Part of our preparation for this is the measuring our best audits, but as I said before, there are basic standards, and we think we can do a lot better than those basic standards, and we're seeing that we are. So you've got nothing to worry about. Just keep doing what you're doing, and we'll let you know close to the time once we know the dates.
Does
think over
anybody
to
have
you.
any questions about the audits or any concerns? We know that
Are
when
you,
he...
sorry, Fern, it's Kylie here. Are you
Hi, Kylie.
aware that there's huge integrity issues around KPMG internationally and their confidentiality of client information?
No, but this is who DSS have chosen as their auditors, not us. So we don't get a choice, unfortunately. However, they've sent us a lot of stuff around their privacy and confidentiality. So hopefully that they're not tied up in that stuff, Kylie.
I actually think they're being dumped from the Australian government. I think if I read right, if I read correctly, they've been suspended.
Kylie,
From
if
Australian
you
government
if
work.
you have some information,
Yeah,
maybe if you
I'll
send
just
that
flick
through
it
to
through.
me, and I can, of course, raise those concerns with Disability Sports Services. They are who have contracted KGMP, and we will have to ask them to assure us of those privacy issues.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. I think, is this the final thing?
Almost, Fern. This is just a quick slide to remind you that coming up in September is the HUI, the face-to-face learning opportunity for everybody within the organisation. Very soon, the HUI committee will be sending out the comms for that. And just a reminder that you register for your workshop session. So there will be 4 choices for you to have a look at. And you'll have a deadline to register for the workshop that you want to be involved with. If you don't register for a workshop, we will register for you. That's it. Ta-da!
So I guess, are there any final questions or any feedback before we close off for today? Something in the chat. No? Okay. So thank you. Just before we close off for today, I just wanted to again thank you all for spending the time with us. Hopefully you did learn some things today. As I said, we are recording this. We can share the recording with people if you want to go back afterwards. Just a reminder that if you have any suggestions, we do have a suggestion box on the homepage of ConneXu. And with that said, I just want, before Sandy closes off karakia, I just want to again thank everyone for joining us. Hope that everyone has a great day. Keep up the great work, and we shall see you all soon. Sandy.
He te atua, kua mutu tā mātou mahi, mō tēnei wā, manakitia mai mātou katoa, o mātou hoa, o mātou whānau, aio ki te aorangi, tūturu whakamaua kia tina, huie, taikie. Bye everybody, have a good day.
Bye. Thank
Thanks,
you. Have a good
everybody.
day. Bye.